What's up, faithful? Welcome to the East Coast Red and Gold podcast. I'm Niners Jess, along with Ty Alston, Maddie B, and Niner Lady Dina is inactive tonight. It is Wednesday, September 24th. What's up, guys?
What's up? It's
High
a
blood
good night.
pressure. How are you?
I'm hanging in. Before we get going, we are brought to you by Faithful Gear. Get your customized Niners gear made for the faithful by the faithful at faithfulgear209.com. All right. 3-0, big win, big loss. Let's get right to it. Juwan Jennings, Kyle Shanahan said today that Juwan Jennings is day-to-day, that he was close to playing last week. So they're monitoring him. Ricky Pearsall did not practice today because of his knee, although he said that if there was a game today, he would play. Brock Purdy, Mac Jones were limited. Brock Purdy with the shoulder and the toe, obviously more so the toe. Mac Jones, the knee. CJ West had surgery on his broken thumb yesterday. And the most notable is Nick Bosa, the ACL on the right knee. The same one he tore back in high school.
Yep.
Where do we go from here with Nick Bosa? You can't replace him. He's a huge part of the team. Yep. Do we weather the storm, see where we're at now? What do you guys think?
We do the same thing we did in 2020. We play without him. We played 3/4 of a football game without him. Like, we talk about Robert Saleh and him being the right guy for the job, and how he has worked with the young defense before and and all this stuff. Well, he's also the guy that has coached without Nick Bosa before. So he talk about another blessing in disguise having him back. He knows what to do. And if you look at the way that defensive line was flying around for 3/4, I'm going to say we're in pretty good hands. You don't replace a Nick Bosa because the only people you can replace him with are Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, etc. Those guys don't grow on trees, right? So you have to use your coaching prowess to get by without him. And I think we got the right guy for the job.
What do you think, Maddie?
Unless Max Crosby becomes available in some sort of form or fashion, and I say that not half jokingly, like I kind of, based on, the fact it's the Raiders and the fact that they probably ought to get some assets for some things pretty quickly. I could totally see that being a thing at some point, but not for a very, very long time. And that would probably even be more so another like off-season thing, right? Like it was just like Ty said, and if you look at the moves that they just made, right? Like they brought Robert Beal back and they got a couple of guys in the practice squad.
Mm-hmm.
Now what they're going to do is they're just going to shift tactics, right? And it's not just going to be Nick Bosa and 10 other guys. It's going to be 12 guys or 11 guys rotating through on that defensive line, right? Based on situation and based on whatever's going on, who's fresh, who matches up right. There could be guys that come available, right? Like, could the Bengals completely fall out of it? Yeah. Could Trey Hendrickson become available? Sure. Are there other guys out there that can be? The Kayvon Thibodeau thing was the one that I thought was a great one, because that's a guy who's on a final year of his rookie deal. And if there's one thing the 49ers love, it's getting somebody on the final year of their rookie deal just for to kick the tire, right? Because then they kind of have the right of first refusal. It's either it's a thumbs up or it's a thumbs down. So I could see that happening too, but I think it's basically just going to be what they've got. And then if they go in and let's say they just keep winning, right? P.S. They're 3-0, by the way, while we're all depressed about Nick Bosa, you know what I mean?
Yep.
They're off to the best possible start under the circumstances that you could absolutely ask for. That's really what it is. This gives Michael Williams a chance to shine, right? Are you a first round talent? Here's your chance to prove it, buddy. right? Like, this is your chance. No rookie walls. I don't want to hear about any of that. Don't have time. Like, you're going to be rotated out. You're not going to have to play every single snap, but this is a good chance for guys to shine. Reminds me a lot of was it? I think it was the '84 was the year Fred Dean held out for like, I don't know, 10, 12 games, something like that. Didn't come back till later on in the year, and then the rest of the defense kind of got to learn as they went along. You know what I mean? And then the next year they ended up drafting Charles Haley. So, or a couple years later, they drafted Charles Haley. So, they could find some people eventually in the draft. I mean, they found Nick Bosa. So,
Well, when Bosa went out, there was a lot of Samo, Yatir Gross-Matos, Michael Williams, Bryce Huff. They did really well on Sunday.
Hold on. Fun fact.
Go
I
ahead.
went back and rewatched the game.
Mhm.
Bosa was not out there for all 3 downs in that game. They were actually rotating him in and out throughout that first quarter. So like maybe Robert Saleh is a fortune teller. I don't know. Right now in Saleh we trust, because he was Nick Bosa was off the field for 3, 4, 5 consecutive plays in a row. And he had those other guys in there getting them reps. So it's just weird how that dynamic played out. And then it was like for the rest of the game, Robert Saleh was like, oh, well, shit. Oops, sorry. I've been doing this all game anyway. This was my game plan all along. So I'm just continue with it. It's weird.
Yeah, that is
Yes,
really weird.
But yes, those guys got in there and they filled in admirably, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we say this a lot on the show, that we always go back to coaching, whether it's Kyle Shanahan, whether it's Robert Saleh, even in years past, when we didn't have Robert Saleh, like it always went back to coaching. And this 3-0 stint is definitely has a lot to do more so with coaching, I feel. Obviously there's the execution of the players and stuff like that. But I think it has more to do with the coaching. Let's talk a little bit about the defense. You had the three, I almost said Wookiees, rookies, Michael Williams.
they'd be great on the offensive line. I feel like if you drafted
Wookiees would be more offensive linemen.
for the offensive line, you'd be in really good shape.
Really get that butt sweat going there.
Yeah.
Michael Williams, TJ West,
Tom Brady
and
would be really
Alfred
pissed off
Collins,
about that.
Going after Kyler Murray. It was awesome to see. Your thoughts on those 3 guys up front?
Go ahead, Matt. I went first last time.
They didn't
What's up, Jason?
lose containment of him that often, and that was something that's always been a problem with him. And this has been I mean, how many third downs has this team, like third and longs? They haven't really been giving up a bunch of the third and longs.
No, not yet.
Like they have been in the past. Like, knock on wood. They've been great on third down. They've been great on third down offensively. They've been great on third down defensively, actually, fun fact, which is really strange. But it just because it's weird based on how they've been in previous years. So I thought all of them did great, especially under the circumstances, right? Like they're just you're thrown into the fire. We expect you to play and play now. Like, yeah, you're gonna make a mistake here or there, but don't screw up, because we've got capable people over here that will replace you within 2 seconds. So, and also we're not going to require you to just be out there for every friggin' snap, right? Like that's just stupid. You can't do that in today's NFL. Not with the way the pace of these offensive line, these offenses go.
Yeah.
So, no, they just did what they were taught. They did what they were told. They stayed out of the way, and everybody's been producing pretty well. It's kind of nice to see. It's nice to see the defense have good enough coaching to be able to get the talent to where they need to be so that they can cover for the offense until, it's more than Christian McCaffrey and what's
Ricky
left of
P,
Ricky Pearsall,
every game,
right? Yeah.
every down,
yeah.
I should say.
Yeah. It's.
Yeah. I love those three. I can see, we see why they were the first picks in our draft. John Lynch doing his thing, and that's why they were drafted. You know, everyone says, "Hey, we need to stop the run." But like I said, when I went back and watched their college film, they can get upfield too in a pass rush. They can get penetration. They are relentless, and when you got those young, fresh legs being rotated in, this is what you want to see. And to, have Kyler Murray in a frenzy, we know he likes to get out and scoot. He be scooting. It's great to see. So hopefully this continues, like seems like we got something going on here. And they're all just young and raw. This is game 3 for them. Game 3. If Michael Williams, this is literally game 3 for him because he didn't play all preseason. And we see he's showing some stuff. And his pass rushing is better than people give him kudos for. He can get after it. I think some development is needed, and he's going to be literally learning on the fly here. But it's the perfect situation, right? Get with Chris Kasarik, pick Nick Bosa's brain, do what you got to do, and work on your edge rushing because we're going to need that now, as well as your inside rushing. So it's just great to see those rookies get out there, get at it, and just being on the field because we know in the past we didn't see rookies much. And these are young guys we're excited about, so let's keep it going. What's up, Terradome?
Yeah, those three have definitely come into their own, and like you said, it's only week 3. So they have plenty of time to, keep getting better and better. And they seem to be heading in the right direction. And again, that again goes back to Robert Saleh. It goes back to Chris Kasarik. Just their get off, like how the whole defensive line, the way they get off, like that's Chris Kasarik right there.
I was about to say, you know what? That is a great nugget right there. And that's something like we didn't discuss, but we talked about Robert Saleh coming back and what he'll do with the players, but him and Chris Kasarik reuniting and bringing back that relentlessness from the D-line, right? Like we used to see 2018, 2019, 2020. Like those two are a great pairing on the coaching ranks, and it translates to the players. Jess, see, this is why you're the best in the business. Tell them, Terradome. That was a great nugget there. Something I never thought about, but yes.
So yeah, one player that kind of goes under the radar, but isn't under the radar, Upton Stout. He made probably one of the biggest plays of the game, or the biggest play of the game, towards the end. Maddie, your thoughts on Upton Stout?
He reminds me of a young Tim McKyer. He very much reminds me of a young Tim McKyer. And for those of you who are like, who the hell is Tim McKyer? He was on the other side of Deion Sanders in Atlanta after that. Before that, he was drafted by the 49ers. I believe he was drafted in the 86 draft along with Charles Haley. They had a really good draft in 86. John Taylor was in that draft too, by the way. Just one of those guys that fits, right? Like he fits their tempo, fits their like chippiness. He's not, he's not 6'2", 225 pounds, right? He's like 5'9", whatever. Western Kentucky, I believe. Like just and they're pretty big on their football in Bowling Green, Kentucky. I can tell you that for a fact. So he comes from a really good program in that aspect of it. You know what I mean? So it's like he's had plenty of reps. And at the end of the day with defensive backs, like, yeah, there's NFL schemes and college schemes, but like you still got to defend the pass, right? And he has seen a lot of passes playing at that level. Okay.
Yeah.
He's probably seen a lot of angles and a lot of different things. He just fits. He fits that mold. He reminds me a little bit of Diamador Lenore as well. Just that he'd be a shutdown nickel, and you could eventually see him being like a a really good corner, right? Like on the outside if he needed to be. But he can just do what he needs to do, and he just fits. He fits his team's DNA. That's what it really boils down to about him. If he gets punched in the face, he will fall down, but he will get back up
Hmm.
after he spits the blood out of his mouth,
Yeah.
right? Like that's pretty much what this team does. So just a lot of blood lately.
For those of you just joining us, we are talking a little Upton Stout, and his big plays these past few games. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah. For a few years now, we kind of struggled to find just a good slot corner who can cover. A guy who can cover. Like we've seen the blown coverages and Isaiah Oliver's and other people. Like we need a good slot corner. Well, they went out and found one, a guy who's sticky in coverage. And I gave the comp early this season. Like you should think Jason Verrett, because he's small and shifty and sticky like Verrett was. Remember, Verrett started in the slot before moving outside. And this guy has that same kind of DNA. So to see him out there fighting like a dog, being sticky in coverage, not giving up on a play, following it all the way through, right? You got to survive the catch. That's what they call it, survive the catch. So as a DB, you get to fight through it. And that's what you see him doing. And just like Michael Williams, this is only his third game, literally. Number 3. Didn't see him at all in preseason. So he's literally being thrown into the pool, feet first, head first, like go out there and do it, son. And he's doing it. And he's only going to get better, right? The game is still moving super fast for him. Wait till it slows down and he's able to read things. And it's like, oh, I know what you want to do. You want to hit this post over the middle. You trying to hit this bang 8. I'm going to jump this pick city. Like you got to be encouraged by what you're seeing from these young guys just out there making plays and getting it done. And for him, hats off.
Momo Morton says he's a hands-on DB, my kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Taradome says Upton's kicking it.
He's also learning how to be able to put your hands on a guy and not get nabbed for holding, right?
Yeah.
Like Ambry Thomas never figured that out. He never figured that out. I don't know why. I'll never understand. Like every time he would just grab the guy here and hold him, and then he'd get called and he'd be like, and I would be like, how are you like this? I'm here. And I'm like, what are you doing? And you're like, how am I getting called
like
for this?
Even I see you. Yeah.
Like, what? Like that was, I don't see that with those guys. I don't know what the hell is going on with Renardo Green, but that's a whole other scenario. I'm hoping he's just hurt. Like, and I don't mean that from like a boy. I really hope he's hurt, but like, I hope he's just playing through injury and he's not as effective, because at least that would explain what's been going on with him. Because if not, he has clearly taken a step back from something.
Remember, he was hurt in preseason.
I was gonna say, what are your guys' thoughts on Renardo Green?
Only played the last game, and I think that's something. I think he's injured. They're not letting on. He's able to play. He's able to get on the field, but the effectiveness isn't there, right? And he's not the only one. And this team seems to be having a problem with these guys who are injured, and we know they're injured, but they're still out there. It's like, hey, maybe you want to sit them down for a week or two. Save them so that they'll be able to go in the long run.
I think he has a neck issue, but Kyle Shanahan didn't mention him today with the injuries. Luis Moreno, I think it's more of the front 7 getting pressure makes it easier on the DBs, but what do I know?
Well, yeah, that's always the case. Yeah.
Momo Morton, Green is a good DB as well. He needs to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Healthy is the key word for this team.
Yeah.
What exactly would you say you do here, Dustin Perry? I think of the Bobs sitting him down in a meeting. It's like, okay, so here's what we're doing.
Well, his title is strength and conditioning.
And he
He didn't
was
say anything about health.
vice president of strength and conditioning. Like, okay, is there a bar you're setting for this? And is the bar that low? Because currently it's not being reached. So more on that as we get going. He was
Morton. I'm beginning to believe the training staff is hot trash.
Yeah. They're getting hurt on the field, though. So
I don't think it's entirely them.
It's not. Like if you see a player gets crunched on the field, that has nothing to do with the training staff, right?
Yeah, there's some things like this is a physical game. People do get hurt. I think the issue that I see, it's not like, it's the weird ones, right?
It's the weird ones, those soft tissue ones.
There's so many of them.
A guy getting injured, getting out of a chair.
Like, just what? Like, and how? And it has not gotten any better. And yet somehow this dude that's been a part of it since 2019 gets a promotion in April. Woo!
I think that this is part of it, but I know the coaches don't like to play the rock stars during preseason, but I think that needs to change.
Yeah, I don't know when everybody got wrapped in bubble wrap in preseason. Like,
I know.
Everybody needs a first half or at least a quarter against a team. It used to be like they would start off, they'd play a quarter, and then the next week they'd play a second, like they'd play into the second. And then usually when it was a 4-week preseason, week 3 was the actual, like, that was
like dress rehearsal.
That was dress rehearsal. Exactly. Right.
Yes.
Like they would play into the third quarter, sometimes into the fourth, sometimes they'd play the full game. And I don't remember that many injuries during that time frame. I really don't. There would usually be a spate of injuries, but it seems like over the last 5-10 years, especially since that latest CBA cut down on a lot of the different practice times and the way mini camps can be held, and
you can only wear pads a certain time,
and this and that and the other. I've heard all the old school guys complain about it, and so far the results are not great because it seems like 5 teams a year stay healthy and the other 25 lose most of their roster by week 8.
They're struggling. Yeah.
Like it's getting to a point where there's not going to be any good games after week 10 if this is how it's going to be. And it's not just the 49ers. The 49ers are having an insane run right now, but like every week it's like, well, this guy's out, this guy's out. How many backup quarterbacks started this week? It's week 3.
I know. It's wild.
Yeah.
How many backup quarterbacks started this week? 5, 6?
Mm-hmm.
Like, somebody's got to find a better way. And it's not just, well, we got to put more penalties so that nobody's touching anybody. That's the problem. Nobody's doing anything. Like it's called muscle memory, right? Like let's get some stuff going. Like let's let these guys actually earn their contracts and work a little bit more of an organized fashion. But whatever is going on right now is clearly not working. Clearly. And they have spent the last few years trying to clean up what is clearly not working. Well, clearly the strength and conditioning, that's it. Not program, not anything, just strength and conditioning. Whatever this is not conditioning nor strength. And it seems like all we're doing is they're really good at rehabbing players. I can say that. Okay. That's a positive. But my question is, are they, if these guys keep getting hurt? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't, like I said, it's not all of it, but literally everything needs to be looked at this point because this is almost ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
Or hire an Etsy witch at this point. I don't give a shit.
All right. Fred Warner. Thoughts on his play? I don't need to ask this, but I'm going to ask him anyway.
All I got to say is every week he does something that's just like incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Like that batted ball, he actually tried to catch that thing. He went for the interception. And I was like, Holy crap. If he would have pulled that off, oh my God. Only Fred Warner can do that.
Yep.
Only him.
He got up there too.
And he got up. He got way up.
Yeah.
That was an insane play to be able to be like, no, I'm not just going to bat this ball. I'm going to catch this thing. Insane. When they say best in the world, like, yeah, that's not just hype. That's for real, for real.
Momo Morton said he's the field general for a reason. Luis Moreno, best linebacker in the league.
He kind of is the CM Punk of defensive NFL defensive players. And, he's probably going to get shafted on Defensive Player of the Year this year because they've already decided to give it to Micah Parsons. I'm not sure if you're aware of that or not, but he's already won it. I'm not sure if you're aware. I couldn't roll my eyes anymore. But yeah, that dude has just been tremendous. And to watch D Winters start to develop alongside of him, right? Just tremendous.
Yeah.
Huge. And it is so important for this defense to have 2 linebackers you can count on, and at least 3 linebackers you can count on in case one of the 2, has to miss time for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And right now I actually feel good about this team's linebacking core for the first time since
it's solid.
Since before Dre Greenlaw tore his Achilles. By the way, Dre Greenlaw still has not taken a snap for the Denver Broncos. Everybody out there. Just a fun fact.
So do you think that Fred Warner is on Patrick Willis's level?
Yeah. They played 2 different games, but yeah.
Yeah.
They're there.
Yep.
Fred's there, most definitely.
There are different balls of wax. But they both played with heart and grit.
Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Patrick Willis played until he literally started losing limbs. Okay.
Wait, he couldn't walk.
He couldn't walk.
Yeah.
The limbs are just nope, we're done here. Okay.
You see it on the field. He had that old man limp going on.
That dude.
All right? Yeah.
That dude played some prime minutes at Ole Miss. He was one of the few guys, for some reason I can usually, if I watch college football, and when I did used to watch college football, I would always watch guys, and somehow they'd end up with the 49ers. Bryant Young and Patrick Willis, both, for some reason, were just guys that I gravitated towards beforehand and were the only guys that the 49ers ever actually drafted that I thought, wow, these are good picks right away, right? And actually turned out to be good picks. But Willis played heavy minutes in the SEC, so he played he played heavy years there. So that's going to take at least 2 years off your NFL career based off of that, right? So we were lucky that we got what we did out of him for as long as we did. He was tremendous. But there's been a lot of good players through here, but it's good to see, Fred Warner getting his due, and it's also really good to see what he can do with Robert Saleh at the helm, right? It's I feel like right now we're watching Fred Warner, the unleashed version, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Snyder version, the uncut version, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean?
That director's cut.
The director's cut, yes.
All right, let's switch gears to the offense.
What offense?
Exactly. Definitely
last season.
And it just continues on.
Yes. It took a while to get going. Even then it really didn't get going.
Yeah.
But we have a juice touchdown. That's
it.
Their red zone woes continue.
1st and goal from the 6.
We are the only team in the NFL without a rushing touchdown. Luis Moreno, is Garendo worth anything for a trade? He seems like he's on the shelf anyway.
You just answered your own question of that comment, Luis. No, he's not.
Exactly.
He's worth a 6th rounder to somebody. Your best bet for him would be to I don't know, trade him for Raheem Mostert. Right?
For what though? For what?
Yeah, like exactly.
Just to see Raheem return kicks and not be used in the run game.
Exactly.
Like the same
There's nothing going on. Guarendo's just going to hurt his shoulder anyway. He's there for depth if something happens. Brian Robinson only got 6 snaps the other day, by the way. What the hell is that?
And he had a 19-yard, a nice 19-yard run.
What?
And was immediately taken off the field.
Yeah, I know.
What is that?
You know,
6 snaps.
They've always said, like, you know, when you go with the hot hand.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And he clearly had the hot hand at that point. And right after that, I even said, I was like, keep him in. And went right out.
So let's go back to the 1st and goal from the 6.
Oh, boy.
Robinson comes in, 4-yard run, bully ball run, what we all want to see. 4 yards, 3 yards, gets it down to the 2 to 3. I can't remember. And I'm like, oh, we playing bully ball. We got the big back in there. Let's give it to him again. Here comes CMC, the smaller back. Gifted like that, but I'm like, we just punked them on 1st down. Let's punk them again. And then 3 straight plays in a row. Let's try to get it to CMC because he's the only one that can score touchdowns. Remember the talk this offseason was, hey, we got to spell CMC, protect him from himself, blah, blah, blah. Where is it? Where is it? What's happening? Because it seems like he can just come in and out the game whenever he wants.
I do not understand why Brian Robinson Jr. and Christian McCaffrey cannot be on the field at the same time.
That's another one.
What is happening? You could put Kyle Juszczyk on the field at the same time. Give defenses something to friggin' think about, please. Could we do that?
Mm-hmm.
Like this is the premier like offensive mind in the game, who's the head coach of this football team and the architect of this franchise. And we can't figure out a way to put Christian McCaffrey in the slot, move him around in motion, move Juice around, and then free things up so that Brian Robinson has some options about where he wants to go. Christian McCaffrey and Kyle Juszczyk are great blockers. Both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay? You could spring Brian Robinson for anything, but they have to account for Christian McCaffrey.
Exactly.
So even if you have him go in motion and go into the slot, he has to be accounted for. Move him around. Make them move people around. Save him some touches. Just make them guard him and then make them guard Juice. And then everything should be freed up. If your offensive linemen win their battles, Brian Robinson should be able to get 4 to 5 yards of carry every time. And then you can do that same thing again with Brian Robinson Jr. and CMC. You can just rotate that. You can just go through. I do not understand. We lose a new wide receiver every week. We can't figure out a way to lead on this. You lose all these There's no Juwan Jennings last week, and Brian Robinson Jr. gets 6 snaps. What in the actual hell are we doing? What is going on? Why did you make this trade for him if you're not going to use him?
Yeah.
What is the point? What are you doing?
Papa J says that the running game and the passing game will open up more once Brock comes back with his mobility skills.
How mobile is he going to be with that toe, Papa J?
I don't think so. The passing game, I can see that. Plus, we got Robinson back. We're getting weapons back. Yeah, but
I said this last week. I still feel that we're like one run away from just busting wide open.
Well, and you know what's going to happen against the Rams, but we got a few weeks for that. So, in the meantime, something else has to happen. Go ahead, Ty. No, you're right.
No, I was going to say another big problem with the run game, and this is something we touched on earlier, injury. Like there seems to be this thing with having guys on the field that are injured. Dominic Pooney is still clearly injured from his preseason injury. He's not himself. We see him get beat every week. He's
Cost him
getting
2
pushed.
points last week.
Exactly. Getting pushed back in ways that he never got pushed back before.
Not last year.
He's still dealing with that leg injury. And it's like, okay, maybe we might want to give him a week off, a week or two, just to get healthy so we can get through the back end of this season when we're really going to need him.
Yeah, week
Right?
14 is a long way away for that bye.
Yeah, exactly. So how about rest him a little bit now so that we have him later? Boom. Same thing with Connor Colby. He's dealing with something now. So now we got
Yep.
both of our guards banged up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, you know, how much can we do here? So we say this all the time on the show. We got to protect these players from themselves. And the coaching staff has to do a darn better job of recognizing this guy's injured. He can gut it out, and that's great. But how about we give him a week off? Let's see if we can survive the game without him so he heals up. Let's not Jake Moody this thing, right? We got to throw the Brian Schneider playbook out the window when it comes to putting a injured player on the field and just letting them shank it away. We got to be smarter.
And you've also got, if I remember correctly, there's a short week next week, right?
Yes.
Yes.
They got Thursday night
We
football.
play Thursday night.
Yep.
Okay. So just remember that out there, gang of gangs. Like, you got a regular home game this week against Jacksonville at 4:00, and then they've got to turn around and take a flight down to LA. Now, of all the Thursday night road games, that is the best one you could
best case
possibly
scenario
get, because
Basically
it's basically like just a home game.
It's another
right?
home game, yeah.
And you're not, and it's like an hour flight or something. Like, who gives a rat's ass?
Yeah.
Less than
So
that. But it's still a short turnaround.
It's a very short turnaround. So I'm going to be real interested to see, one, who makes it through this game, and two, who's going to be available for Thursday night.
Exactly.
Also, who are the Rams playing this week, and what time are they playing? Right? Like, there's some interesting subplots and some other things to look at as you go ahead. But the 49ers, the reason I mentioned that is this is going to be week 4, week 5. The 49ers mini bye is after week 5. Right? They've got that Friday, Saturday, Sunday going in. So week 6, which I think is, oh God, is that Tampa?
Yes.
Okay. So week 6 is Tampa.
The Rams are playing the Colts at 4:05.
Is that a Sunday nighter? Oh, that's
No.
4:05. Okay.
Yeah.
4:05.
4:05 our time. Yeah.
All right. That's a home game for them too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
A tough game. That Colts defense is getting after it.
That Colts defense getting after it. They're going to have to tackle Jonathan Taylor. They have to deal with Daniel Jones.
Daniel Montana all of a sudden.
So weird what happens when you get out of the stink of the Meadowlands. It's
Exactly.
the weirdest thing.
Get away from that swampy air, and all of a sudden
that post Meadowlands glow up, gang, is real, and it is spectacular.
For real.
Woo.
Papa J says that he doesn't expect Brock to be super mobile this game, but as the season goes on, things will change.
I hope so. That was really a part of his game that I thought was extremely underrated. And if he's not able to be as mobile as he was, or be somewhat close to mobile, that's one of his superpowers that gets taken away, right? And quite frankly, I don't want Brock Purdy hanging out in the pocket too long all day. Like, when he's back there, he has to throw like Steve Young used to throw. He's throwing it to a spot. He's not like, ooh, there's the receiver, I can lead him there. It's like, well, Ricky Pearsall's supposed to be there. There it goes, right? When it's more mobile, he doesn't have to do that as much, right? Like, or he can at least kind of make that space. So I like my quarterbacks to be somewhat mobile. Joe Montana was somewhat mobile. Brock Purdy reminds me a lot of Joe Montana's mobility before the back injuries.
Yeah.
Right.
Joe's
Like
more mobile than people give him credit for.
If people go back to Super Bowl 19, one of the big reasons they won that game, outside of the fact that Roger Craig was a monster in that game, but Joe Montana ran a bunch because the Dolphins kept going down the field in man-to-man coverage. So,
Yep.
and they
It
didn't
was
spy
wide
him.
open. Yeah.
So he's like, okay. And if you go back, there were multiple drives where he's just 10 yards, first down,
Yep.
12 yards, first down. He had like 50 yards rushing in the first half alone, I
Mhm.
think, or something like that. So, Joe Montana wasn't like, it wasn't like he was completely inept. He ended up getting his back broken in a weird way in a game against Tampa in early '86, and then all hell broke loose after that. Like he wasn't quite as mobile. He could still move around, like he wasn't completely whatever, but he was not Steve Young. Brock Purdy reminds me a lot more of Montana's mobility from the early '80s, and it's definitely important for this offense for him to have that.
Papa J also says, with a lot of other players returning throughout the season, the play calling and results will get better.
You're going to have better spots. Demarcus Robinson comes back this week. I'm really interested
Yeah.
to see
Yes.
what
That's
he
going to
does
be
this week.
huge.
I'm
Yeah.
actually,
That's,
I'm really excited for
if
that.
if him and Jawan Jennings come back this week, that's
I
going to
know.
be as close to full strength as this receiving core is going to be until Brandon Ayuk gets back.
Yes.
So, and
Well, the wide
this Brandon
receivers.
Ayuk thing,
Yeah.
I can't. For the wide receivers, the wideouts themselves, like that wide receiver room, I'm expecting that Tampa game around week 6 to maybe be the Brandon Ayuk whatever. Like I wouldn't be shocked if he makes some sort of like something at practice next week, starts being limited, kind of like what the Bucks did to Chris Godwin.
The Tampa game could be the game where Kittle comes back, Ayuk comes back, Malcolm
Yeah.
Mustafa's back.
See,
That could be a big homecoming game.
I expect them to come back week 7. A real homecoming game. I got my money on week 7. We'll see. It'll be interesting.
Right.
I'm putting my bingo box in week 7.
All right. What I really liked also is that Mac Jones hung in there, throwing to Pearsall, throwing to Kendrick Bourne, Jake Tonjes, like on that final drive. And then that led
Guy
to
Moore
that.
had a catch.
Yes, and then that led to the Eddie Pinheiro field goal. The last 2 times that the Shanahan era started 3-0 was 2019 and 2023.
Yep.
And what happened those years?
Super Bowl years.
That's right. All right. Game balls.
I'll start. Mac Jones.
Go ahead.
Got hurt. Survived some piss poor offensive line play.
Yeah. Ripped
Is
jersey and all.
not Johnny Mobile. And he kind of had some John Brody to him the other day. He really reminded me a lot of John Brody. Like just whatever. Someone's there, right? Like, and he had some really, and he knew some of the throws he had to Ricky Pearsall, man. Those were dimes.
He's putting it on him.
Yeah. And they were laser beamed at like, and Pearsall's like, I got it, no problem. And he knew right where Christian McCaffrey was at all times as well. So yeah, like I was pretty impressed with what he did. Eddie Pinheiro for being clutch when you're supposed to be, right? Isn't that what we want? That was the whole point, was to get to where we are now, where you could get to the end of the game, kicker comes out, hits it, you win, you move on, right? Because if he doesn't hit that, all we're talking about this week is what the hell's wrong with the offense, right?
No, we're still talking about it. Oh, no.
We are.
Offense does not get a pass. Not for me. Y'all know this. I've been saying this since last season.
The whole world would then be talking about it at that point. And they would all be ignoring the fact that literally they have exactly like 2 starters starting, right? Basically. You can count Jake Brendel if you want, but that's up to you. And then defensively, I would really like to pump up Michael Williams just because of that whole he probably had to play more snaps than what they planned on, right? And that's probably Kyler Murray at full speed, you probably can't really practice for, right?
No.
Right.
So that's a tough game to get your feet thrown into the fire with. And I didn't, after the first half, like I really didn't.
That 6-3 first half, that riveting 6-3 first half.
Oh yeah, that was whew, set football back a few years.
Turner said that he's
really got going.
Brock can't quite step into throws with the turf toe. I heard one person say that, but then everybody else seems to think that he's going to play on Sunday.
I have a I have a hunch there's going to be a brace. I like probably a special shoe. Like you can't tell me that they haven't gone through and like found orthopedists and stuff like that that could find some sort of shoe that could
At
get
this
him to do
point,
the
yeah.
things that he needs to
Yeah.
do. They could probably reach out to Deion Sanders. I'm sure Deion Sanders knows a guy. Like, dude had to
He knows a
retire
guy.
because of his feet, and then he came back
Yeah.
because they found some
Right.
sort of solution for him to still be able to play. So
They
yeah,
basically numbed his whole toe. His toe was dead. And for people that don't know, it was Dion's second toe was the one that had the turf toe. Most people think
Yep.
turf toe can only happen on the big toe. It can happen on any toe. So
Which
for Dion, it was the second one.
I
Yep.
also had heard that with Brock Purdy, it may not be his big toe.
Yeah. See?
So
and that
Yeah.
and what Ty just said fits right, it dovetails that really nicely. So
yeah.
by the way, we do not talk about this stuff in advance, guys. I know Jess has mentioned this before. Like we don't get together, like we just bullshit right before the show starts, and then
Yeah.
bam, we're on. So when this stuff flows in, it just flows in the way it's supposed to, I
Yep.
guess.
Ty, game balls, go ahead.
I'm the young defensive lineman. I feel they really acquitted themselves, played well. Got to give it up to Ricky Pearsall, just stepping up, being that number one receiver. I mean, there was that one segment in the second half was basically just him and CMC. Every play was just him and CMC. And he was out there just balling. And when Shanahan made him the number one receiver at the end of last season, you can see why. Like, it's translating. It's moved over. So to see him just lead the way is great. And remember, he hasn't even played a full season yet. We talk about young guys stepping up. He's one of them. So those two, and I got to give one to Robert Saleh just for making adjustments, doing his thing, making it happen. It was a couple of times he tried blitzing Kyler Murray, and Kyler ran out of it, and he was like, all right, I ain't doing that no more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna learn early from my mistake. Nope, not gonna happen no more. Let's just contain them and do what we do. Genius. Sometimes being a genius is doing the simple things, and he's doing it. So I got to give him a game ball.
I am going to go with Ricky Pearsall and the three rookies on the D line: Alfred Collins, CJ West, and Michael Williams.
There you go.
All right, let's switch gears. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars, week 4 at home. I believe the Niners are opening up as 3.5-point favorites.
Yeah.
This will be, if Brock Purdy plays, if Mac Jones plays, this will be a good test for them because their defense is actually pretty decent. What are your guys' thoughts as far as game plan to beat the Jaguars?
Let Trevor Lawrence throw an interception and then score. Let Trevor Lawrence fumble. Let Trevor Lawrence yell at his coach. Like, their offense is shit on a shingle. Shane Waldron's involved with that, so we should all pretty much know that at this point. For those of you who are wondering who Shane Waldron is, he was the offensive coordinator in Seattle for a while. He was also the offensive coordinator in Chicago last year when Caleb Williams was watching film and, quote, didn't have anyone to watch it with him or show him how to watch it. Exactly what you want your number one pick doing, by the way. That's the way to go. Anyway, since he's taken over in Jacksonville, their offense has looked like hot garbage, and Brian Thomas Jr. looks like he has forgotten how to play the game. So this is an offense that is just perfect for this defense to probably smack the crap out of this week. So I think the solution, and I think the solution until this offense is really at the point of, okay, it's like actually running on, let's say 4 of 6 cylinders, right? At this point, I won't even say 6 cylinders. Let's just say 4 of 6 cylinders, as opposed to 2 of 6 cylinders. Until that comes back, it's got to be turnovers, and the special teams needs to continue to be positive, not negative. Neutral to positive, not negative. As long as that continues to happen, this team can continue to win these games because the teams that they continue to face are teams that they can beat playing like this. Okay. It's going to get tougher and tougher and tougher every week. So the offense has got to get their shit together at some point. But they got a little bit of time because the defense is playing at a really high level right now. And the special teams last week, I thought, stepped up quite a bit too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ty.
Yeah, for me, it's all about the offense stepping up. You know, we know we have a blow. We're missing a big piece of the defense, and that's a big blow to us. But I think we got Robert Saleh. We ain't missing that piece. So the defense will still play at a high level, but we can't depend on them every game. At some point, the offense needs to step up and do their part. So it's our team philosophy is a bit backwards. It's like, all right, if we get one touchdown and a few field goals, we're good. We got to break that cycle. We got to get back to scoring 3 and 4 touchdowns, right? The magic number is 24. We got to hit that 24, and we got to do it via the touchdown. I think with the pieces we got coming back, like just having Brian Robinson back as a big piece, a weapon, a guy who can get open, familiar with the offensive system, right? Coming from the Rams. So that'll help. And Mac Jones played with him throughout the preseason. He has rapport with him there. Brock threw to him. So whatever quarterback we got out there will be fine. I think we got to get back to playing a little bully ball, running the rock just a little bit more. I know it's hard when your guards are banged up, but it's like, we got to use Brian Robinson a little bit more to emphasize that. Lean on that defense a little bit more, right? Start to wear them down. That's when we take our shots in the passing game, we catch them off guard, and we're hitting them for chunk plays. I think that's got to be somewhat of a philosophy we got to get back to, you know? And we saw in the last drive of the game on Sunday, when everyone's involved, the offense really gets clicking.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see more of that. Don't just call Ricky Pearsall's number or CMC's number. Get Juice involved. That touchdown play, brilliant. It's the same play we ran in week 2 for a touchdown, but Juice has some of the best hands on the team. You can use him more in the passing game, right? Freaking Brian Robinson can catch too. Use him. Hey, Matt, when you was talking earlier, I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. When you was talking earlier, Roger Craig and Willie Tyler popped in my head. Wendell Tyler, sorry. Talking about using CMC and Brian Robinson on the field at the same time. It's like the playbook is in the building.
That's literally how they survived the 1983 season. Guys, if you
That's
know anything
what I'm
about 49ers history, they went to the NFC title game and probably should have gone to the Super Bowl that year because Wendell Tyler and Roger Craig were in the same backfield. Roger Craig was the fullback. He was the fullback.
He was the fullback, but did a lot of running and a lot of catching out the backfield. It's like the formula is there.
The film is right there, and Kyle goes through it and watches that stuff all the time. How many times has he said, well, I was watching an old Bill Walsh take the other day. And I'm like, wow, I see this play. I got to use it. Remember that Brock against Seattle a couple years ago? Where the hell? Go back to 83, Kyle. It's right there. It's all there. It's all there. To God.
It's all there. So just use all the weapons. Everyone talks about all the injuries we have. We still have a lot of weapons on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Just get them all involved. Get them all involved. Yeah, for more than 6 snaps.
6 snaps. God almighty.
All right. X factors.
Ooh. Against the Jaguars. So I'm going to say Upton Stout because he'll probably be going up against the dude, the wide receiver, cornerback dude. Why am I drawing a blank on names?
Travis Hunter.
Thank you very much. See, you can always depend on Jess to have your back. Travis Hunter. So that'll be a key matchup. And then defensively, I'm going to say Bryce Huff. Just getting after Trevor Lawrence, making him uncomfortable. We've played them plenty of times in the past. we see when we make Lawrence uncomfortable, he tends to throw the ball our way.
And it does not take much to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
My X factors are actually going to be the entire team.
Ooh, okay. Team effort.
Because these past 3 games, the defense has really
won the
dug
games.
us out, helped us out.
they won the games.
Yes. Like Ty has been saying, it is time for the offense to step up. And I feel that even though that the Jacksonville Jaguars, they lead the league with 7 interceptions. I think we get really back on track with this game. We get our first rushing touchdown of the season with CMC or Brian Robinson Jr.
Caillou's check.
Okay, well, whomever somebody has
rush into the end zone,
and we need to get back to our scoring ways. So I'm going to go with the entire team. I think this is going to be a team effort on Sunday. All right, let's go to that hurry up offense in the 2-minute warning. Yeah, Ty.
Very, 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 very good win. It feels good to be 3-0. I'm going to say last year we lost by 1 point, and man, did that suck. This year, winning by 1 feels a whole lot better. So it's just good to see the team once again being gritty, gutting out a win, because once again, this builds character. This builds that callus. It's going to stay with us and carry us through the season. So we're in tough games come December and January. It's no problem. We've been here before. And that's going to propel us to greater heights. So keep going, Niners.
I am going to share your thoughts. It is nice to be 3-0. I know there are a lot of people out there that didn't think that we would be 3-0.
No.
But Demarcus Robinson returns. Hopefully JJ is back. Pearsall will probably be out there.
Yeah.
Whether it's Brock or Mac Jones. I think we got this win on Sunday. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but like I said, with my X factors, it's going to be a complete team effort. And Eddie Pinheiro knocking in some field goals as well. Shout out to the chat. You guys are always awesome. As usual, go Niners. And Matty, you're up.
I only got 4 games left, by the way. Jacksonville is gone. Atlanta is gone. The Rams are gone. And Jess, how was the time that you had in the Arizona game? How were the seats?
The seats were fantastic. The food was great. And get your tickets to the remaining home games through Matty, please.
Yes, NinersWO.com. 4 of them are left, and let's get some guys healthy and back, and continue on this winning streak.
All right, shout out Faithful Gear. We'll see you next week, same time, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Go Niners!
Hey, stay faithful, everybody.
And of course, for the upstart 49ers, they're 6 yards away from Pontiac. 3rd and 3.
We'll see a pickup sometime on the right side, possibly.
Montana looking.